Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick video. I was thinking about this, the difference between a Mudman and a Mudmaster. Ever since I got this glorious watch yesterday, the Mudman Love to See on Earth, beautiful green and gold watch, but I also own a Mudmaster, which is a nice sort of red and rose gold one. And I was wondering, what are the differences between these two watches, apart from the fact they probably look different, but they're both in the Mud series. So what is the actual difference? So of course, you do what any self-respecting technology person does. You analyze, but today in the world of AI, we can use AI. So of course, I asked all the AIs what was going on here. So the Mudman series, CoPilot says it's primarily a digital watch, generally smaller and lighter. Features includes tough solar, multiband 6, and some have compass, thermometer, etc., etc., etc. Price is typically less than a Mudmaster. The Mudmaster series analog digital combination, larger and thicker, includes tough solar, multiband 6 materials, often made with higher quality materials such as sapphire, crystal, and forged carbon. Generally more expensive due to additional features. Okay, so basically Mudmaster, higher quality, more features, tends to be the more expensive one, bigger, chunkier watch. Mudman, smaller, and primarily digital. Now, of course, you don't stop with one AI, you go for it all. So we tried Gemini. Gemini sort of talks about the same sort of thing. G-Shock Mudman, digital display, smaller and lighter, more affordable, focus on core features. Mudmaster, analog digital display, larger and more robust, more expensive, advanced features. I do like the fact that they create a table. That'd be nice if CoPilot did it. They just put the text in there. Gemini at least sort of says, hey, here's a table which summarizes what those differences actually are. So at least on one page I can have a look. So feature, display, digital, analog digital, size and weight, smaller, lighter, larger, more robust, price, more affordable, more expensive, features, core features, advanced features. So, you know, you're obviously going ahead and paying for more of those advanced features. And we'll actually go ahead and take a look, because it doesn't necessarily say what those advanced features are, because, well, it does. It says here, on Gemini, Mudmaster watches often include advanced features like barometer, altimeter, and compass, making them ideal for outdoor enthusiasts. However, if I were to go ahead and take a look, what did they say? Barometer, altimeter. I've got a compass, I've got an altimeter, I've got a barometer. I've got all of those features on here. So the Mudmans feel like they're getting more advanced now and probably aren't packing the advanced features that they're saying they actually have. But what we can actually do is have a look at that in a bit more detail. I mean, this also has barometer and temperature and all those different things. Does the Mudman have temperature? Altimeter, barometer, compass. I don't know if it's got temperature. We'll check this out on Shockbase. But of course, you don't stop there. We look at DeepSeek, and wow, DeepSeek is all the rage right now. It goes into a lot more detail. They look at this, instead of looking at the series and then the features, and then here was series and features. This is looking at the features and then breaking down the actual watches themselves, which is actually an interesting way. So target audience, one's for outdoor enthusiasts. The Mudmaster is for professionals and extreme adventurers, which I am absolutely an extreme adventurer. So very much the Mudmaster is for the solid people, I guess. Design and build. Mudman is typically more compact and lightweight compared to the Mudmaster. Mudmaster is larger and bulkier, often includes carbon fiber and a screw-down crown. Although I think the Mudman also has a screw-down crown as well. We'll have a look at that a little bit later on. So features, basic features, shock resistance, mud resistance, water resistance. They both do 200 meters of water resistance. Some include digital compass, thermometer, moon, and tide data. Mudmaster includes all the features but adds more advanced functionalities. But this information is probably late because the Mudman does include an altimeter. It does include a barometer and a thermometer. Oh, it doesn't include thermometer. Like I said, we'll check. It doesn't have Bluetooth. I know for a fact the Mudman does not, or this particular Mudman does not have Bluetooth. So that's what it's actually missing. But what's interesting here, Mudmaster has vibration resistant structure and triple sensor technology. So does it say much about the... It doesn't say much about the shock resistance that the Mudmaster has. And we'll talk a little bit about that because I think that's where we start to get into more of the details. Certainly, CoPilot talks about high quality materials and things like that. So what we've learned so far, Mudman is more affordable, Mudmaster is the more extreme end. Let's have a look at G-Shock here and see what we're actually dealing with. So the Mudman series, interesting, they sort of say they're all pretty much digital. However, they did start with some analog capabilities, right? This is one of the earlier Mudmans back in 1997, and this actually had analog capabilities in the actual watch. However, post these releases, they absolutely went fully digital. There's no more analog on it after that till we get down to the end. And where we at in this series here, these Mudmans, they're all digital. 2023, so 2 years ago. This was from last year. This is our baby, the 2024 Mudman collection. All basically digital watches. This is obviously a very, very new one, the Mudman Rescue Yellow. Hadn't seen that one. Have to go ahead and maybe look into that one in a little bit more detail. But if we go back and have a look at the Mudmasters, these have been a analog and digital combination all the way through down to what we know today. So let's just put these two side by side. If we go down and have a look here, this is the Mudmaster we actually have, and this is the Mudman we have. And if we come down, we can actually see some of the differences here. So we're going to pull this down here. And, well, straight away from the top, let's look at the price difference. This is 64,900 yen. And the Mudmaster is 132,000 yen. So the Mudmaster is already double the price on the market. So a Mudmaster, 132,000 yen versus 64, that's double, right? But some of the features you'll actually see straight away. If we look at the resistance built into these watches is much more substantial. It's got alpha gen vibration resistance, DLC on there, which is a coating. So these are features which exist here in the Mudmaster, the alpha gel vibration resistance DLCs. This is built in to provide that shock protection, whereas the Mudman doesn't have it. It also doesn't have the low temperature resistance. It doesn't have tough MVT either. So a lot of the resistance features between the watches, the Mudman and the Mudmaster, are kind of different as well. I mean, it does have, if we go look at the Mudman here, it does have carbon core guard, it's got mud resistance, it's got water resistance. So, if you're looking for a rugged watch, it'll still go ahead and actually do it. The vibration resistance and things like that is something in the Mudmaster which probably doesn't get used by a lot of people. I have heard the stories though that people who use equipment which kind of rattles, like if you think about a drill, a pneumatic drill or a drill hammer, whatever they're called, something which gives vibration, that sort of thing is actually really, really good on the Mudmaster because it gives you that level of protection. In terms of sensor arrays, right, so looking at the Mudman here, altimeter, barometer, compass, and thermometer. If we go over here, altimeter, barometer, compass, thermometer. So same sensor array, right? It has everything that you would actually need to go ahead and look at from that point of view. Information on the Mudmaster, we've got sunrise and sunset. On the Mudman, sunrise and sunset. So that works as well. Time zones, Mudman has world time, 48 cities, 31 time zones, 5 alarms. If we look at the Mudmaster, we've got 55 cities, 38 time zones, and 5 alarms. So there is a difference in terms of the number of time zones and the number of cities. which I think is kind of interesting. Like, why, if you have the capability to have different time zones, why would you have 38 versus 31? That's just a little bit strange to me from that angle. Then finally, if we look at functions, well, date and stuff like that we can skip. Functions, Mudman has auto backlight, multiband 6 and tough solar. Mudmaster has auto backlight, Bluetooth, multiband 6 and tough solar. So really the Bluetooth is the only thing that's actually missing from that point of view. Now, last thing to go ahead and quickly have a look at might be in terms of weight and sizes. So if we look at the, let's go, where is the weight and size? Here we go. The weight and size on the watch here. So the Mudman is 88 grams. The Mudmaster is 114 grams. So the Mudmaster is obviously heavier. Size-wise, 58.7 in height versus 56.7. So Mudman is a shorter watch. 52.7 in width. And, okay, the width of the Mudmaster is less, 52.1. And then the depth of the watch, I guess you'd sort of call it, I know there's probably a better name for it, 16.2 on the Mudmaster, 14.8 on the Mudman. So different changes there in terms of size. Looking at the glass is sapphire glass, as they sort of said, and on the Mudman it's mineral glass. So interesting though, this here, the LCD type on the Mudman is a dual layer LCD, and I think that is part of that compass. And I don't know if that's that little additional bit of layering on the actual watch. So let's just go have a quick look at these watches themselves. You know, if you look at the two side by side, in fact, let's look at the overhead camera so we get a better view there. Okay, so here is the Mudman and here is the Mudmaster. So side by side, they're not too different in terms of actual sizes. They are saying that this Mudmaster is actually less wide than the Mudman itself. So I should have got I guess a measuring device like a ruler to go check it out. But your Mudmaster, as you can sort of see there, sapphire glass. It's got the analog handles and actually the time on it as well. This one predominantly digital. The one thing I was interested in testing here is kind of like how good the lights actually work, because I get a feeling that on a bigger display like this, the lights will actually work a little bit better to light up the whole display versus what we will actually see here on the Mudmaster. So let's turn the light off and have a look in as dark as we can go ahead and actually get it. In fact, what we'll do here, I'm going to turn off my backlight. Alright, that's probably sufficiently darker. Maybe just from my monitor. There we go. Okay, now we're super dark. So if we have a look at the light here, right, so you can actually see the lighting come up on there. And this is always one of the issues I kind of have, is that negative display, which is a little bit harder to read, right? But if we look at the Mudman, you can see that light up a lot more across the whole thing. Now, it probably doesn't represent too well on the actual video, but certainly for me reading this, I can easily go ahead and actually read what the time is on this particular watch. On this one, it's measuring something else, but it's a little bit tougher to go ahead and actually see. It's not terrible, but certainly side by side, the lume, not the lume, I guess, the light is much more significant on the Mudman there than on the Mudmaster itself. So interesting from a readability or legibility point of view. I've really gone and broken it, but yeah, you can see those two watches there with their workings. So anyway, folks, there you have it. That is the sort of quick comparison between a Mudman and a Mudmaster. And you know, the chat AIs kind of had it, right? Your Mudmaster is definitely the sort of watch for high-end experience, a sapphire glass, greater levels of protection in the actual watch itself, but it's heavier, and it probably has not many more functions. It is an analog digital combination, so if you're going for sort of a bit more stylish looks, the analog thing is not too bad to go ahead and actually wear. But you know, the Mudman definitely feels a lot lighter than the Mudmaster. Like, you can feel a tangible weight difference, and we expect that. But look, this watch is no slouch. Like, even if you look at it here, it's just a watch you can actually read very, very easily with a glance. And sure, you can glance at an analog watch and sort of understand what's actually going on. But this is a very nice watch, very nice color scheme. You can get something similar in the Mudmaster. But again, we're talking about this watch, which is a really nice watch that you can pick up cheaper. So I keep looking at the camera over here. You can pick this watch up a lot cheaper than you can this one. In fact, you can pick up this watch now secondhand cheaper than what it was going for, but you can get it much cheaper than this. This is a watch which is twice the price of this one. So twice the price, half the price. But it really comes down to what you like. Do you like an analog display, which kind of has a little bit of class to it? Do you want a digital display? Very, very clear, very nice, easy to watch. To wear. So anyway, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A quick comparison between Mudman and Mudmaster. What do I like? Which one do I like more? They're both great watches. And I would sort of say, if you wanted comfort and lightness, this is probably your way to go. If you wanted something super solid and a nice looking watch, this is a good way to go. You can't go wrong with either of these watches. I think it really comes down to how much you want to spend. And if you're like me, you probably spend too much on G-Shock watches. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Really appreciate your support. Thank you. Bye-bye.